Were you an athlete, school teacher, or maybe worked in a corporate world? Our careers, they tend to be the way that we identify ourselves. Now, what happens when that identity is taken from you? We found ours in real estate. Now, let us help you find yours on the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast, starting now.
Welcome to the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown.
So, guys, and I'm your other host, Michael Butler. How's it going?
It's going good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're growing like crazy. We love getting the feedback from everybody talking to us about it. Please, if you get any value, go and like it and share it with all your friends.
Yes,
let them know.
Yes. Let them know. Let them come get this value.
I think today's topic is really good.
Oh, you think so?
I think today's topic is really good.
It is a good one because I think it relates to a lot, right? You talk about life, real estate, just whatever. I think it's going to touch a lot of people.
All right. So, I mean, you talk about the topic up front, like say what.
Well, let's do some housekeeping first. Let's do some housekeeping first, right?
Okay,
Let's do some housekeeping, right? So, go ahead, Strat.
If you guys are looking for any type of virtual staff, go to callmagicians.com. They will take care of you. And this is for any business processing, cold calling, administrative help, whatever you need. They'll take care of you with anything.
Anything. And then also, guys, if you're looking to scale your business, you're looking to run comps, analyze your deals, come up with good offers, pull lists, skip tracing, all that good stuff, man, go to mainlinecomps.com. There you'll get a 7-day free trial with PropStream. Again, that is mainlinecomps.com.
And again, guys, comment, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know the issues you're having. And this could be real estate business. Today's going to be a lot more, what's it called, business and mindset set.
Yeah, for sure. This is a well-rounded podcast, right? We specialize in real estate, but our advice is for all walks of life.
So talk to me about it. Talk to me about what you got going on, boss.
All right, man. So I haven't determined whether, I'm not going to, and it's not like it's something crazy, right? I'm probably just not gonna name drop and stuff like that. I don't want to throw people business out there like that. So, excuse me, I have my blue slushie from Taco Bell. Oh. Fire, right?
Fire.
So basically, it's as you guys. I mean, might as well fuck it. I'm the oldest, right? I'm the oldest of like six kids. So, my youngest brother, he just started college, when the pandemic and everything hit. Right? He's a freshman at City and stuff like that. And so, it's been a difficult year for him in the sense of sports, right? And then a transition, if anything, right? So, he's gone on. He's started working. I think they still work out and stuff like that for City. But he reached out to me yesterday, and he always reach out to me. And it's kind of funny because like he's 20, he's 19. I think he's 19, and then I'm 31. So the age gap is crazy, bro. I'm the oldest by 8 years. So where I am in life is nowhere near my siblings. They'll call me wanting to talk, like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, I got 3 kids." Right. So he just calls and just frustrated a little bit. I guess they're doing football workouts and stuff like that, and he's struggling with some things, and so kind of had to give him a little pep talk, just about growth and just constantly getting better and hearing the message and not the tone, things like that. And I swear to you not, probably about 15 minutes later, I end up on the phone with my sister about almost the same thing, bro. So talking about growth. So both of them are at a point in their life where things are starting to change and it's different, and all the advice people used to tell you when you were younger and you kind of blew it off. Starts biting you, what I mean? It starts to come up and become relevant. So just reiterating those things for him. What's up, Blake?
What's going on, Blake?
My man. So that's kind of what the topic is. That's kind of where we're going with it when we talk about growth and just what it looks like, where it comes from, sometimes how it pops up in your life, and ultimately how to deal with those things.
So I ran into this when I got to college. Same thing, right? To where, and you'll run into it in every aspect of life. When you're the big fish in a little pond, things are really easy. Mm-hmm. And then you find out that you are a very small fish in a very, very large pond when you get to college.
Yeah.
Like there are very exceptional people who go in there and dominate, but more than likely, like you're going to get there and everybody's as fast as you.
Yeah.
Everybody's as strong as you.
Yeah.
The only way I separated myself in college was with my work ethic and like more film and like having to work harder and like develop actual skills instead of just having athletic ability.
Well, it's funny. It's funny how that's how you separated yourself because, again, I don't know the level of kind of play of kind of where you played and stuff like that in high school, but just kind of where the league that I played in when I was in high school, bro, I was 6'3", 215, and it wasn't a lot of huge people in our league. You know what I mean? So I kind of just
toss dudes.
You know what I mean? I kind of just did whatever, however, in a sense of, it didn't take me much effort to do it. So I had a bad work ethic. Like, you know what I mean? Like I kind of was just better than everybody. And so when I got to Fresno State, man, that was it was an eye opener for me. And we had a guy, we had one of our strength coaches, Moses Cabrera. Last time I checked, he was still the strength coach for the Patriots. And I remember that I was just struggling. I was on the hill one day. I don't even know what was wrong with me. I was probably tapping out or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you just going through my own mental emotions. And I remember we're just on the hill and he's like, "Oh, did you play any other sports?" And I was like, "Yeah, I played baseball." He was like, "Oh, what'd you play?" I was like, "Oh, center field, right?" And so we're just talking. He's like, "Were you good at it?" And I was like, I had a partial scholarship to, Fresno Pacific, And he was like, "Well, you probably should have just stuck with baseball." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like here I am feeling like he's just chopping it up with me, And he's like, "You know what I think about you?" And I was like, it's one of them questions where you like, you know what I mean? And he was just like, "I think that when you were in high school, you were better than everybody else. You didn't have to work that hard, And then when you got here, everyone was that guy in high school. You know what I mean?" He's like, "And now you have a hard time competing." Because you never had to compete before in your life.
Right. You've never had to fucking compete.
You never had to compete. Like, you know what I mean? You got here and it's a dogfight, bro, because everybody was that dude in high school. You know what I'm saying? And so that was an eye-opener for me, man. And I didn't have a work ethic to fall back on. You know what I mean? Because everything was just, and my head coach would tell me all the time, like, you gotta go. And I'm like, you know what I mean? You just shrug it off. You young, bro, I'm whooping everybody's ass. Like, what do you mean I gotta go? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Man, and we were talking before this started to where like they're getting frustrated and they think things will get better, but if you're growing, there will always be problems. You'll probably always feel this way and you're just used to it.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you're doing, you have problems and hopefully you're getting bigger and better problems. Yeah. And like we talk about the Mickey Mouse issues. Like hopefully your problems become Mickey Mouse issues and you've grown more to where it's not an issue anymore and you have to think higher and you have to think bigger and you have to think more complex.
Mm-hmm. And so just kind of going into that, like that conversation that we had, it was like, it was one of those things where everyone's the same now, right? He's like, everyone's good. That's kind of what he's saying. And so then I, in my mind, I'm like, well, people get better, bro. Like people continue to work. The problem is, did you get better? Yeah. And so, so the first thing I asked, like, well, what is some of the feedback that you're getting? And he's just like, they mentioned about coming off the ball and having his hands, locked out because he plays D-line, having your hands locked out, right? He'd have his elbows still bent when he's pressing them. So,
okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like he's not coming off fully extended. Right. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, well, that's the shit that, I'm pretty sure his coach in high school is Nico Mata.
Nico was teaching him that shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure whatever it is that they're telling you is probably the same shit Nico was telling you last year and the year before that. You know what I mean? I'm like, at the end of the day, bro, I said, you need to call him, because it becomes that's kind of one of those gut checks type things, right? I'm like, you call him. I said, he played that position at a very high level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to get advice from anybody, that's who you should be talking to. And so I was like, you just call him and let him know, like, hey, coach, everything that you've talked about, like, I understand it's right. And I'm getting to a point in my life where it's starting to, show itself, And so just ask him, what he think. I said, because, I can always coach it. But, when you played for someone who played at such a high level at the same position, like, call him, dude. And so we just talked about that. You just got to continue to get better. I'm like, and of course, you're going to start feeling like overwhelmed. You're going to feel like, you're not getting better, and you feel like he's yelling at you, telling you, your first step and your hands and your hip, your pad level, right? I said, all you keep hearing is hands, foot, pad level. I'm like, bro, well, you gotta hear the message, but don't hear the tone. I was like, but you're not gonna be able to do it all at once. I'm like, just go in 1 week and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna have the best first step all week. You know what I mean? That's what I'm working on.
That's all you
first
can
step,
do.
right? So you're not gonna be hearing hands, step, pad level. All you're gonna be hearing is I'm like, he's still gonna be yelling at you. But all you're gonna hear now is pad level, hands, pad level, hands. You ain't gonna hear, step your first step, pad levels, hands. And so I just told him, just take it one at a time, man.
Bro, I mean, I can take this two different ways. I think sports are so amazing.
Yeah.
Because it shows you that you can work on something and get better at it. And then like, oh, I can change my life. I can control something. I can work at it. I can see, oh, well, I'm better now. I'm getting what I want. To where a lot of people who don't, if you aren't doing anything competitive, I would say. And like, I think you could get better from like debate. You can get better from a lot of things to where like, if you see, okay, I have to practice, me practicing shows me that, okay, now I can compete at the level I want to compete at and I can win. And you taste the winning and you taste all of that hard work you put into that just to take that next step forward and win and do something.
And they talk about it like not being fun, I don't know if I'm having as much fun as I did before.
It's because you ain't fucking people up anymore.
And I'm like, bro, you know where fun comes from?
Winning.
Fun comes from when you done prepared all off season, right? You done studied, you done did all this, you done sat in the mirror shooting your hands, taking that first step. I'm like, and then you go out there and you just whoop on everybody's ass. Like that's what becomes fun because you done prepared harder than anybody else. So now your skill level done rose. So now the shit's fun because you're not thinking about what you're doing no more. You just get to play. And that's the same thing in real estate, right? When we even wholesaling. When we talk about if you're cold calling, direct mail, and texting, you're probably going to get frustrated because it's not going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of different systems, a lot of KPIs to try to track, a lot of data that you're going to have to sort through on how you're formatting it to upload it to batch, upload it to like all these different systems, call tools, whatever it may be. But if you just stick to cold calling and you're just on call tools and that's all you're focusing on, well, yeah, the shit's going to be fun. So when everyone else is complaining about how hard cold calling is, the shit, you're going to be having a blast because you're going to be locking up deals.
Bro. And I love you taking it back to real estate. And we can talk about, there's a book Mike Michalowicz wrote called Fix This Next. And he's talking about if your business was a house and you worked on all these different things, your house would be a fucking disaster, right? So you'd have like a half finished room. You'd have like a quarter of a swimming pool.
That's what my house looks like, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But like you aren't focused. Like you're okay, we're gonna build out a buyer's list, and then you're like a quarter of the way through, and then you get distracted by another thing, and you aren't
squirrel.
Again, we're sitting here for a week and we're gonna get our arms right. We're gonna sit, we're gonna press out, we're gonna get there, and we're gonna get there, and we're gonna get there, and then hey, I know it's muscle memory, and like that part of our business, that part of our game is fixed, it's built out. Until later, we don't have to do anything else. That one's good. Now we can move on to the next one. Like you can't get better at something all at the same time. Like it doesn't work that way.
It's not enough time to be able to, the time that it takes to and you never really perfect it. You know what I mean? No. But just to master a skill, I think mastering is a whole lot better than saying perfect it, because you'll never perfect it, but you can master how to do it. You know what I mean? And I think when we talked about first getting started in real estate and how Fresno in itself, right? We're in different, Central Valley is huge, but when we just talk specifically Fresno, we talked about how tough it is to try to do all the zip codes. And we talked about how I had to focus on a zip code before I actually started closing deals.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like it took me getting down to one zip code to when I knew, kind of like what Mike Zuber talks about, knowing your market.
Legitimately.
It's 100% what he's saying. Like I knew when things moved in that zip code, you know what I mean? And so when something came up, I knew exactly what I can sell it, what I can move it for. I knew exactly what I could lock it up at. I knew exactly, when the year was built. I knew it was, like I think I used to tell you all the time, right? I'm like, it's either a 2131. It's between 800 to 1,100 square feet. You're going to get 140, 150 ARV. Rehab's typically going to be between $25,000 to $45,000.
Right. That's the 6.
You know what I mean? Like you have to know that those things. And once I knew that, and I didn't got to a point where I just had it on lock. All right, now I'm ready to do more volume. So now I'm gonna start, adding more zip codes to it. But you got to be able to master a skill first.
You can't. And I mean, you want to go deeper, not wider. And I think this is something a lot of people struggle with. When you're first getting started, I think you do need to master one marketing channel.
Yeah.
You need to master one marketing channel. And then once you're done with that, and it's done, like it's on lock, like, okay, we're cold calling. Now we have all of our systems in place for cold calling, and I don't do anything in it anymore. If anything, I need to make tweaks. Now I can go on to the next step.
Yes.
Now we can add on another marketing channel because you have to learn something new to make sure it's working the right way and it's efficient.
Yeah. You got to be able to know when it stops working, right? You got to know when it stops being efficient
and why.
And why. That's the huge one. That's the why. But then getting back to the growth part of it, it all just stemmed from, it can become frustrating, and I'm gonna try to correlate this with real estate and not so much the conversation that we had. But the biggest thing was just it's a good thing when you start getting anxious, or you start feeling frustrated, or you feel like shit's going bad, or you don't know which way to go. Like a lot of people take that and they go the other direction. And that's why, the failure rate is just so high, because it's so easy to just tap out, and Rob Golden, freaking phenomenal dude, man, went to Edison High School here in Fresno, went on and played 4 years at Arizona, played as a true freshman, Army All-American, went on and played like 7-8 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he just opened up his own school here, the Golden Charter Academy. He posted something on Twitter earlier this week, and I thought it was freaking phenomenal, because he talked about how many years he played, football with Pop Warner, junior high, high school, college, before he was able to play, however many years it was that he played in the NFL. He talked about, what was the other one? He talked about how long he played. I'm not doing it no justice, but he just talked about all the great accomplishments he had in his life, and then how long it took before
it bore fruit.
Before it bore fruit. Yes, before the school. Like right now, we're seeing the school coming up, they're accepting kids now, but I guess he had been working on it for like 3 or 4 years just to get it approved. You know what I mean? And so some of the biggest milestones in his life, he was like, they've taken the longest.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, anything worth having, like it takes the time, it takes the effort. Like this shit doesn't happen overnight. And I know we hear it all the time. I know it feels like, we're just shooting kicking a dead horse. But I mean, it really is what it is. And that's why people are sometimes stuck in a low performing area, because it's just easy to be there. It's easy to just be at that type of level, because when you start to push yourself and you start to get uncomfortable, that's really where the change starts to happen. And so we got to always be finding ways to get us in that type of situation.
Well, so, and Derek Cuff posted this the other day.
Yep, out of Houston.
Yeah, out of Houston. And he was like, it's really hard being broke, and it's really hard trying to get rich, so you might as well be trying for something. And if that's not the realest thing I've ever heard,
shit ever. Yeah,
he was like, bro, it's really hard. It's really hard being broke. I personally think it's really hard being broke, and it's really hard owning a business and doing things. But
you choose your hard.
Wouldn't you rather just do the hard thing that's probably going to give you more? Because I truly think being broke is hard. You're living a hard life. You have to look at your bank account for one thing. You can't let's go do this. You have to think. That's hard. That's mentally straining. That's
I was getting my haircut this week, and they were talking about, I guess, gas prices were over $4 or something like that. And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, bro. He's like, when the last time you pumped gas? I was like, and I felt bad because I had just left the gas station, bro. Just left the gas station. And they're like, bro, you didn't even look at how much the gas was? And I was like, and you know how people are. I'm just like, bro, it wasn't, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. At the end of the day, I need gas. But I'm like, it's just a blessing to not, I think last time I checked, it was around $3.70 at Costco. But I was just telling them, I'm like, but it's one of those things where like I know I need it.
That's a Mickey Mouse problem.
It's a Mickey Mouse problem, unfortunately, right? But I'm just like, bro, like, but like you said, it's hard being broke. You know what I mean? And it's hard running a business. And when you talk about how, those Mickey Mouse problems are things that people like literally stress. Those are stressors, bro. Like those are big stressors. And so I'm glad I don't have some of those in my life. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as a flex at all. But like the things that I think about sometimes that I used to think about or were real concerns for me, it's crazy to think how a lot of people live.
Well, you need bigger problems. You always
need bigger
need
problems. You're going to have problems regardless.
So there might as well be some good, big ass problems.
Just don't let it be broke problems. You know what I mean? So, those are things that you can change.
And like life is, and I was talking to my dad about this. Troy, he was like, yeah, but I mean, I've had so much going on. And I was legitimately just like, bro, there is always something going on in life. Like, I don't think there's ever a time in my life to where something is not going on. So like, I can't use that as an excuse for something. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we had a lot going on right now, so we couldn't do this, or I couldn't do this. And like, whatever, what my dad smokes, right? And I was like, hey, like, what the fuck's going on with that shit? You're close to quitting? And he was like, no, I got a lot going on. And that's what I was like, bro, we all have a lot going on. And I know you will always have this much going on no matter what. So like, we can't use that as an excuse.
Just got to find better ways of being organized.
And then getting uncomfortable. And like, it's hard. And I can use the self-storage shit, bro. Like I've talked about this. Like I am uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I know Kalani's more comfortable with it than I am, but I was like, for a while, there's like, oh fuck, bro. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about at all, right?
And different numbers, yeah.
Different numbers. I'm learning it's real estate, but like it's really like a business and a facility and something that I'm not comfortable with and I gotta learn. But learning that, putting myself in that situation, what's it called? Oh, we got put on blast the other day not put on blast, but like we had to talk about a facility that we're evaluating on a mastermind call.
Whew.
All these people own at least one facility.
Pressure, bro. That is pressure. That's some shit that give you some anxiety.
Bro, what? And Kalani is like, you like, and I have crazy anxiety. Nobody knows because I'm pretty nonchalant, but like I'm freaking out all the time.
Yeah.
I am freaking out all the time, or at least I'm thinking about how I need to solve these things.
Yeah.
And it gives me anxiety. And Kalani's like, oh, I didn't think you were that stressed about it. She says we were put on blast. You don't have to sugarcoat. It was so fucking bad. To where like then they asked some things like they legitimately said like you guys haven't been working hard enough. They're like, you don't know how to evaluate something yet, so you need to work on that. And then
So pause, right? Because when did you guys go to this? This is the one from the one you guys had went out of town together with, right?
Yeah.
So when did you guys go to that?
When was it, babe? Like a month ago now? Yeah, I think it was like a month ago.
So about a month ago. Okay. So yes, you are running two businesses. And realistically, would you say that comment was true?
Oh, bro, it was so true. And that's what's worse, right? You gotta look yourself in the fucking mirror and be like, hey, listen here, bitch. And then yeah. And then, but now, okay, like I try and break down a storage facility a day. Like, and then Kalani sat down with me and she was like, Stratton, you aren't taking this like your third business. Like you're taking it like a hobby. And that was a hard conversation for me to have with her, but she was like, right?
I love it.
She's in the room behind me. Yeah. But like we had to like sit down and talk about it to where she was like, you aren't taking this seriously enough compared to the other things you're running. She was like, it is a business for you. And you say it's a business, but like you don't have like, what's it called? The structure that you have in your other businesses. So I was like, oh, fuck, you're right. Yeah. Like I don't have time set aside. Like I'm not sitting down and I'm not learning enough.
It's not a priority to you.
It wasn't a big enough part. Well, yeah, it wasn't a big enough priority, and I hadn't been sunned. I feel like I get sunned every fucking day. It's okay to get sunned.
It's okay, bro. Like, yeah.
But yeah, bro, but getting that uncomfortable and like presenting in front of that group was really, really uncomfortable. But again, like, was that not a really, really big growing moment to where now, like, okay, Kalani, what is it? So as soon as I drop off my son at school, I talk to my dad on the way home in the car, and then until my day doesn't really start until 10:30. So from 8:30 till 10:30, it's my time for storage. Like evaluating, calling brokers, calling sellers, like that is what I've set aside for storage time. I didn't do that before. And unless I would have had that situation, I would have never known.
There's two ways that could have gone. Like, and let's just be honest. And again, it comes a lot with the people. Oh, fuck. It has a lot to do with the people around you, because you could have easily taken that moment and you could have just fucking tanked it. You know what I mean? Like, you could have got put on blast. You knew you weren't putting the work in. You could have called someone. You could have bitched about how they put me on blast, you know, blah, 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 blah. But again, we talk about extreme ownership. You had to look the man in the mirror, right? But it helps when you have someone next to you saying, like, you know, yeah, you ain't treating this, you know what I mean, like it's a business. You know what I mean? You over here worried about this one and this one, but what about this one? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so it was great because not only did you have to look in the mirror, but you've already been trained, you know what I mean, to know that I can only go up. There's no going backwards.
No.
You know, but you could have had someone next to you who would have enabled you. Like, it's okay. Like, you've been reading the books,
right?
You've been watching videos. I know you've been watching them, blah, blah, blah. But like, no, she was like, no, you're not putting enough time into this. So that, you know, we talk about relationships a lot on this podcast too. And so I think that was huge, man, because she had a light of, you know, she lit something under your ass too, you know. So I thought that was important, man.
And that all came from being in a really, really, at least for me, uncomfortable situation. Like, I wasn't confident. And you don't just get confident out of nowhere. I think people mistake that like, you have to start somewhere to where, what's it called? I feel like I'm very good at public speaking.
Yeah.
But then for like the meetups, bro, like I started off talking in front of a couple people and still shitting bricks. But like I could hold my water, and then it got bigger and it got bigger and it got bigger. And then we're talking in front of a room of like 400 people. Right. Yeah, but like it took a lot of work to put in there to get confident 100%. Enough to not like sweat and cry in front of everybody else and curl into a ball.
And you know what's funny is because I feel like the nervousness when it comes to that and the anxiety that comes to that, like me just having to stand up in a room and introduce myself and say what it is that I do and why I'm there, freaking gives me the same type of anxiety, right? But I used to teach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I look at teaching for the first time, I think about all the times that I was nervous before getting up in a room, and the times that I wasn't. And it all came down to confidence. When you know what the hell you're doing, you're not worried about talking in front of nobody. Because you know fire about to come out of your mouth. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what I'm doing. I'm prepared.
You know, ain't nothing but fire about to come out. So you're not tripping about what people gonna think. And you know, a lot of that stuff also comes down to confidence, right? You have to get to a point with yourself, repetition. You know, so we keep talking about growth and stretching yourself. When you're confident about something, there's not a lot of fear when it comes to putting yourself out there.
Yep. And I mean, Ed Milet does really good with this. To where like you got to keep the promises to yourself if you want to be confident and build that self-confidence. To where like, okay, if I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and my word is bond to myself as well to other people. But that like you start telling yourself, no, this is what I fucking do. Yeah. Like I've done this so many times, I keep my promises to myself, and then like you're confident.
This is my shit.
This is my shit. This is who I am. Like if I say I'm gonna do shit, like I make it happen.
Yep. And sometimes you gotta lie to yourself until you get there. You know what I mean? Like, and not lying, like, but you're not working. Like, you know what I mean? If you're working, like, it's good for you, for your mental, for you to just tell yourself, like, you know, again, just speak it into existence. I wanted to bring up what Blake had said. He said being broke is hard, but being comfortable in a cush job is sometimes a bigger trap. Keeping an eye on them, the golden handcuffs, man. Look, we're business owners, and if you have a good employee, what are we gonna do?
Pay him more so they don't leave.
I'm going to pay him more because I know keeping him there is going to make me a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? So that's tough, man. That's more going to be, you know, only how I feel like you really get out of that part of it is when you got people around you with a bigger vision. Because if you don't have people around you with a bigger vision, that cush job, I mean, you made it. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you think about it.
Well, so I think Kalani's her old job is a perfect example. And I don't think there's anything wrong with working a 9 to 5, but like we can use Kalani's job.
She had a really good job, bro. When you told me she left, I was like, whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was the golden handcuffs. She came out of college, was making more money than most of America, whatever, right? Got an insanely good job out of college. And then, but they paid her because they knew it's the golden handcuffs and people will stay with them forever because they're getting paid so well.
Yeah.
Even though, but like, Bond would be working like 16-hour days sometimes. Mm-hmm. And on salary, like you're not like, so you aren't getting paid more. You're still putting up with bullshit, right? Yeah. And it's all that nonsense. But like, those golden handcuffs are scary. And I truly, I don't see anything wrong with working a job. I think more people need to keep their jobs for longer.
Yes. With a vision, like you said,
with a vision,
keeping your eye on the goal. I heard where they talk about, use your job, and Blake is a great example of that, right? Use your job as your job isn't your destination. You know what I mean? It's your vehicle to your destination.
Yes.
Michael Zuber, great example of that, right? He wrote a book, one rental at a time. He used his job as the vehicle that got him to financial freedom. With him and his wife's job, they went and they bought rentals until they were able to retire themselves. You know what I mean? So that's keeping your eye on the goal and using your job as a vehicle and not using it as your destination. It's not where you're supposed to end up at.
All right. And I mean, you can still, there is a misnomer with how much money you can make doing things. Mm-hmm. If you have a job that's paying you multiple six figures, you're going to have to go.
There's a time factor, though. There's a time factor. If your job's paying you that damn much, you're not at home that much.
It depends, though. Like, if you have a really good job.
If you have, who's you paying that damn much and they always at home?
What's it called? So my goal is, like, we're 100% virtual.
Okay.
We will have multiple people in our company to where I want to pay them six figures. We all work from home. And then my big thing is for them, and I know I'm building a culture, is like, no, you need to set aside time for your family. If there's a time-sensitive thing to where I think it is a deal that needs to be wrapped up, an important client that needs to be handled, handle that. But you'll never get back time with your family. And like I preach this to our people to where I'm proud of our company to where we have people overworking and working on Saturdays. And we tell them, like, you got to stop working. They're going to have to
be fucking amazing because at the end of the day, money correlates with time. And if you're paying them a lot of money, you're going to need a lot of their time to make up for the money that you're paying them.
I don't see that because I see you're growing. And again, you learn how to solve bigger problems. And if you can solve bigger problems faster, I'll pay you more.
Touche.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like
you're solving a bigger problem. Yes.
You're solving a bigger problem. I don't and I tell them, like, I don't correlate you with time. Mm-hmm. I correlate you with the problems you can solve for our company.
Okay.
Like, they're damn near all salaried. I was like, just get your fucking job done. Like, I don't even look at how many hours you're working.
I'm going to pay you regardless.
Like, man. I'm going to pay you regardless. Like, we love you. We want you to support your family. But I care about the problems you solve. Like, is this job done? Is this client handled? Like, are these things being handled? Because, like, your time isn't in that unless you're doing a time-sensitive thing. But more times than not, like, the people who I will be paying six figures, I'm paying them to be able to make high-level decisions. I'm not paying them.
You don't have to make those decisions.
Right? And then I'm making other decisions there. But, like, I'm not paying them so they can fucking sit in an office all day and do grunt work. Like, you're not paying someone six figures to do grunt work. And that was another.
Would you pay someone six figures to run social media?
It depends on how good they were. Depends on how good they were. But that's a serious problem for me.
Bro, for everybody. Like, you look at a lot of brands, a lot of, individual, like, people, you know what I mean? Like Eric Thomas, right? Social media is fire.
They were getting paid.
You know what I mean? But whoever runs the social media gets paid because the content is just, you know what I mean? Like, you solve big problems, man. You get paid good money for it.
Right. And
it could be something you love to do.
I want them, you can be an entrepreneur in your business. Mm-hmm. Right? To where, like, I don't care how you get done. If you want to pay VAs to do your work for you, but you create great work and then you use the time you have and make less money inside of our company, cool.
Yeah.
But the problem was solved. That's truly how I think about it, to where if I can encourage all of our employees to be just problem solvers and think bigger, then we're doing something right.
Okay.
I have something else. Oh, and everybody else needs to think bigger. I was talking to a dude about that today, to where we only have a year goes by so fast, to where if we aren't fucking shooting for the moon during this year, then you're just not going to get enough done. That I panic about time.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I want to get so much done, and then like, bro, the week's gone. Like, so I got to shoot bigger, so I can think bigger to get those problems solved faster.
Okay. How many people we got? We got people in here. Hey guys, if you guys have any advice and stuff like that, go ahead and drop it in there. We definitely want to pull you guys in here a little bit. So what do you got going on? Or shit, it's about to be today's Friday. So what big happened this week? Anything crazy that you experienced this week?
Something big that happened this week. We retained a really important employee for us.
Okay.
For the time being, and it wasn't she stayed with our company because of culture, even though the other position, well, let's just say it'll pay them multiples of what they make with us.
And they stayed because of culture.
And they stayed because of culture.
Because
that was really
it means something to love where you work.
Well, and they're bought in, right? They're an entrepreneur in our company. Like, we've given them enough.
That's crazy.
What's the word I'm looking for? They have enough initiative to where, like, I expect them to solve problems and make decisions to where, like, they're like, she was like, this is my baby. Mm-hmm. She's like, I've been helping build this. Like, we are solving problems. I've been helping build this. And so that means we've created a good culture. So that's been my biggest win. We had another girl do the same thing a couple weeks ago. So we're like, they're staying with our company. Like, we love who we work with, and we love what we're building, and like, we see the upside for us.
Okay.
So that's been the biggest wins for me.
Nice. On this end, I feel like the weeks just go by so fast, bro.
So fast, bro.
It's ridiculous. We were able to save a deal over the weekend.
Oh, that's a big win.
It's a huge win, bro. I mean, when you talk about, every once in a while, you got to give yourself a gut check. I think sometimes we get in this business and, when you first start off, I think my first deal was 20 grand that I JV'd with Darren Wade, right? We made 10,000 a pop. And bro, like, smile ear to ear, like, it was amazing. To make $10,000, it was a mind shifting moment. And so, right, life changing, if anything, right? And so you get to a point to where you start closing bigger deals, and sometimes you frown upon a $5,000 or $10,000 wholesale fee.
Small deals pay the bills.
And it's funny because I say that all the time, like, hey, keep the lights on.
You gotta keep the lights on.
But the funny thing is, I'll say that with a $30,000 deal, like, hey, yeah, keep the lights on, like, but that's just to keep myself down, So this was a deal. The deal was going to be huge, bro. And so I had the seller reach out to me. It was just like, you know what, like, it's been taking a long time. I don't like what the other people other people in the situation, what they're asking of, and how they're able to control this so much, And so they're like, I'm just going to keep it. I don't even want to sell it.
Yeah, bro. You sent me a text, bro, and I called you immediately.
Crushed me, bro. Did you see me post that picture today?
Of what?
It was one with Conor McGregor, and he was like $60,000, baby, right? And it said, like, when the lead comes in. It says don't count your commission before the deal closes, and he's like $60,000, baby. Like, bro, that was me. I'm like, I'm about to do this. I'm gonna go drop this on this, and we gonna take it to the moon, baby, right? And so then when when the other person came into the equation and just like, oh, I think the purchase price is too low, and I'm like, oh no, we didn't have the appraisal, we done did all this. Like, I'm trying to hold on tight. And I had I think conversations with you, like, bro, like, I gotta check myself, like, bro, like, this is a big spread, and I'm like, I'm gonna end up losing the deal because I'm afraid of eating at my spread, because I got it really,
that's very true.
I got it really cheap, true. And then for the seller to call me and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it, like, bro, crushed me, because how much sooner could this deal possibly been done had I did that earlier?
I don't think it would have changed. No, knowing that situation, I don't think.
But knowing that other person, that's always been an issue. But we always thought it was a way around it. You know what I mean?
That other person's gonna fuck shit up regardless.
Who knows, right? And so person decided they don't want to sell it. Reached back out to me. I think 2 days later, it was like, hey, we're going to try to do something else. You still want to work with us? And I was like, I'm like, for sure, this is God giving me a lesson, bro. Like, God was like, you being greedy, Mike. Take what you can get. Because, you went from this to nothing. And so that's kind of, we hopped on the phone with the other individual involved and negotiating like that. I mean, I'm losing, like, I don't even want to say losing. That sounds bad, but it was.
I didn't know you did that. What's the
bro,
percentage that person took out of it?
I don't even want to talk about it.
What's the percentage, bro? What's the percentage you fucking lost?
Let's just say the purchase price. What the purchase price was, and this other person came and was just like, I want 70. And I was like, what do you mean?
On their own?
On their own.
What?
You know what I mean? So I'm taking a $40,000 hit. You know what I mean?
I gotta watch
but it's still a good deal.
Oh my God! Based off of principle, I'm throwing my phone at the fucking wall. Oh my God!
It'll keep the lights on, bro.
It'll keep the lights on, Mike. I didn't know that. You didn't even tell me about that. Fuck.
I've been trying to find a way to process it and process it myself. So damn, yeah. So, but based off what they were talking about on like appraisals that they had, they were sitting there saying like, oh, it's we had like 135, and I'm just like, oh, I'm over here sweating like, damn, there ain't gonna be nothing in this. And so when she was like, I want 70, she was like, I don't care about the rest of them, And so I'm like, what? I don't care if they don't get nothing. She's like, I don't care if they don't get nothing. I want 70. And I was like, damn. So we had to, I was just like, look, I can't go back to the others. I can't go back to the others and tell them that you want 70.
Well, this is why I hate wholesale, because you deal with people like this.
You know what I mean? Like, and the cold part about it, bro, is she wasn't like necessarily like wrong. You know what I mean? Like based off numbers, like she wasn't unrealistic off of what she valued it at. I think she was more. So I think she valued it at like if it went at that evaluation split amongst them, it would have been a little bit less than that. But now you get into family problems. He owe me this person owe me that. Like, you know what I mean? So I was just like, look, I can't take it back to the others and be like, this is what you want. But this is how I can structure it so we don't have to mess with the purchase price and stuff like that. So it can be smoother throughout the thing. And so I told her I'll personally bring her down whatever was left after closing.
Good God.
So we'll see how that goes.
Better write that. I don't say nothing.
I want 70.
What are you doing to keep yourself uncomfortable, bro?
Shit. What am I doing to keep myself uncomfortable? I mean, I'm still not necessarily comfortable talking on phones.
Really?
Mm-mm. So, I mean, I still hop on the phone. I don't cold call, but just, again, lead management. I don't know, bro. I feel like every day I'm just trying to do something proactive, I guess. So just shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what uncomfortable for me right now is.
I mean, and we're gonna have a come to Jesus moment. You need to find that shit out, right? Because that's gonna help us push farther.
You know what I mean? Like I think, shit, man. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what that is for me at the moment. I do know that I was getting spread kind of thin, and so I had to do a little bit of refocusing on the things that kept the lights on. You know what I'm saying? And so doing a little bit more of that. I'm comfortable, I guess you could say, kind of like organization, man. I really hate that shit. And so trying to just stay focused and getting into my CRM and making sure that I'm keeping notes on things that people we talk to and scheduling follow-ups and, little things like that. So I guess that's something that kind of makes me uncomfortable just because I don't really care to do it and because I'm not great at it. But when I realize whenever I do those things, that things really do start moving. So I continue to do them.
I mean, could we delegate those things so you could focus on your unique ability? I truly think you're really good with people.
So things that make me uncomfortable is spending money like that, bro.
Okay.
Like I can spend money, like, you know what I mean? But like
spending money on a person.
Spending money on a person just because I know I'm not great with organization. And so I feel like I'm spending money on someone that I can't necessarily direct. Because sometimes I don't even know what I need to do.
You don't want to let go of the vine.
Huh? What vine?
Have you read Traction yet?
Yes, I read Traction.
You know how they talk about letting go of the vine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to let go of the vine. That's what that is. Like you're afraid to delegate.
I don't.
Yeah, because we both know you shouldn't be doing that shit.
I feel like you gotta know, kind of like you said, like it's systems and processes, bro. I'm not good at systems and processes. If I had better systems and better processes, it'd be easier to delegate something because I at least know what would be getting done all the time, if that makes any sense.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this afterwards, or I'll help you out.
But I did start scheduling more appointments. That was one of the biggest things that we got into. Was just like, hey, like I don't care what their price is. If they talk about wanting to sell, put it in the calendar. Let's go see them.
There you go. And that will bring momentum back in your life immediately.
You know
that's
what
you got to do when you low key hit a low, but it's a real thing to just hit a low.
Because I haven't been on appointments, like, bro, unless they're like, I'm ready to sell right now. Like I'm going with COVID hitting, everything's been virtual. And that's like you said, in my, what do you call it?
Unique ability.
In your unique ability, right? So that's where I believe that I'm unique. That's where I believe 100%. That I thrive. And so that was one of the things. It was just like, I don't give a shit like what the numbers are. Like if they want to, if they want to set up an appointment, let's get to that appointment. I can bring him with me and he could just kind of see how it works. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. You need to let go of the vine. Just keep going on those seller appointments. Maybe, I don't know what Chris is good at, but like maybe you give Chris a little bit more.
Yeah, we talk about that off air. No, but no, for sure. But nothing about his ability. You know what I mean?
Not his ability. It's what he thrives in.
Yes, what he thrives in. He's a go-getter, man, and I think that's a great thing. He's working. He's doing great.
Like, because why is Chase so awesome for me?
Because Chase is great with systems and processes.
Chase is we took predictive indexes the other day. We paid a lot of money for these shits.
Uh-huh.
And I got a story for that after this. Uh-huh. We paid a lot of money for this. And I came back a maverick. The first thing it says is high risk tolerance.
Fuck yeah. That's you down to the T.
Does not need a lot of information to make a decision. Chase's comes back and says risk averse, needs lots of data points to make a decision.
Yeah.
And he came back as an operator, and an operator, someone who likes the systems and everything else. And it legitimately says like my head's in the clouds and I'm just thinking bigger.
100%.
And so it complimented it.
Yeah. I probably do need to take one. I say it all the time because I always listen to ET and them always talk about it. And I'm like, man, I probably need to get on there, but I feel like it's just so obvious. It's just so obvious what I like, you know what I mean? Or what I thrive in, and what I'm not good at. But, you were blessed with Chase, you know what I mean?
I'll give you, I'll bring this book to you on Monday.
Cool.
This is
I need an audio book, bro.
You have to read this one.
No, I don't.
Like it's an actual, like you have to.
Listening to it is reading.
They don't have an Audible. It's too interactive.
Then it's not a real book.
Don't we? Oh.
But Chris isn't that, like, bro, like we're like almost the same, like, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna be
me and Alan.
Yeah, he's gonna be a guy. He's a go-getter, bro. Like that's just that's where
He hunts.
we hunt. We're hunters, bro.
He
Like
hunts.
that's like that. So that's what I love the most about him. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Right.
the better he continues to get, and he starts to get his groove in it. You know what I mean? He matures a little bit. You know, he's like I said, he's real young. But once he starts honing in on that, starts investing in himself a little bit more, like he's gonna be a dude that. I mean,
He hunts.
he's gonna be a shark, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have, bro. A lot of my time, sometimes I'm sitting back thinking, like, damn, who could be good at this?
Okay.
Like, who geeks out on systems and processes? And no one comes to mind. If you geek out on systems and processes, and you've been interested in real estate or something that you've done before, or you'd like to learn it, like, feel free to reach out to me. Like, I'm willing to explore that, because the value in that is fucking awesome, and I understand that that's something that I need. I just, from what I see, I haven't been able to find anyone who genuinely loves doing that stuff.
100%. What's it called? So we spent all this money on these personality tests, and I'm on the phone with my business coach. Why the fuck did you buy those? You paid me for a reason. You need to talk to me about this shit. Shit was worthless. What are you doing? I was like, oh, son.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like, it was I still think it was a good investment, but he was legitimately just like he like, you, and I was like, I didn't think it was a big enough problem for him. He was like, you paid me to come to me about these decisions.
Yeah.
Next time ask. He was like, he's like, you're not asking enough. He's like, you already paid me money, so you can talk to me about this, so we can structure things the right way.
So what how would you gone, like, because I feel like it's important to know where your unique ability is. Like, I think we internally, we kind of know what we like to do, but it can also reveal skill sets that you know that you may not have even correlated with something and be like, oh, that's what it's called. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it kind of will open your eyes to some things too.
For this, it was more of culture building and knowing how to put people in the right seats and seeing if they're actually thriving. Because I really care about, like, again, I don't want to put you in Chase's role. And I'm not, if you are a really good interviewer, and you will be, and like you could bullshit me, and then I'm 6 months down the road, like, hey, fucker, what's going on here? You know, and I don't want that. Like, I want to
So
place
you paid
people
for it for everybody?
Yeah, for our entire company.
Oh, I thought you just did it for you and Chase.
No, for our entire company.
Oh, that's why you got sunned.
Anyone who gets hired takes one of those, and then it's still a determining factor on whether or not we'll hire them, because we know the type of personality that we need to get things done. Like, we have it down to a science.
So then is it really a waste of money if you know exactly what you're looking for?
I don't think so, but he truly did, right? But that's why I pay him.
Yeah. I mean, I can't comment on it because, I mean, I don't know.
It was a decent sized penny.
No. Well, maybe that's
a decent sized penny.
I mean, you're better off hiring and firing, but then that becomes time.
But like, so I saw it as this is going to save me time, because I have to hire people, right? And then I have to fire fast, but I want to be able to hire as good as possible, and then
in a short period of time.
And I like being somewhat diverse, so that way I can promote people within our company, and I have someone, and like, we hire them to be on a caller, but they have a skill set and a personality type that I know I'll need in 6 months.
Yeah.
So that I can eventually just bring them up and be like, okay, yeah, did you fit it, or are you going to stay a cold caller?
Yep.
Right. Okay, they fit it.
These are my plans for you. This is where I see you at.
Right. This is where I see them at, and like, we don't tell them those things, but like, now our HR department knows if someone has a unique skill set and a good personality that fits it, we can utilize that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Solving problems early.
What do I do to stay uncomfortable? I take really, really big risks.
Bro, oh my goodness, bro. I know there's a few things that is just like, you know, I came into the year thinking that I was going to go ahead and do this or do that, and I haven't necessarily done it yet. We've talked about it before. One of the things I planned on doing, it was one of those things where it's just like, is that something that's really going to benefit me at this point? Like, you know what I mean? So like, just trying to figure out really what's, and finding the people, you know what I mean? Finding someone that you genuinely feel like going to add that type of value to you.
That's big.
You know what I mean? Like that sometimes can be tough because you have to identify what value you need brought to you. Yeah. And then you need to find who do you believe will genuinely bring you that value.
And match that.
And match that. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of where I am at this point. Yeah. Probably need to look a little bit deeper into it. But I'm constantly learning, bro. I'm constantly listening to podcasts and self-development stuff and mindset stuff and sales stuff. I stay listening to that Zig Ziglar.
I still never listened to Zig Ziglar.
Man, he actually brought something up that I thought was dope as hell today. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do it. It's probably common in sales, but it's pretty much like a power week basically.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things where it's like your family it's kind of, you use it to just like get shit rolling. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're cold calling Monday through Friday this week, 8 to 8. Like, you know what I mean? Like
just throwing down on a week.
Throwing down on a week. Like this is fucking hell week. You know what I mean? Like we're about to go hunt this week. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that was fucking phenomenal.
I like
because that kind of fits into kind of what I like to do. Like I like to be aggressive in that sense of just like dedicating like a week of just like not fucking seeing nobody. Like that shit excites me. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, obviously I love my wife, I love my kids, but I also understand like sometimes like football camp, bro. Football camp it's grimy. I mean, we don't get haircuts. You know what I mean? Like we get tired of fucking seeing each other. It gets scrappy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of like being in that dark place, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that shit is phenomenal. So just the thought of just being able to just maybe lock yourself up with your team and be like, hey, this week, like we're gonna get some shit done this week.
That's why I love 75 hard. Okay. Because it's like I see now, like I don't feel as good now personally. Mm-hmm. And like I see myself slacking to where like I get that power week and like it's a power fucking 4 months. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm on it for 4 months and like I got that momentum. Like I'm fucking pushing.
And I like it. And I like it because you really, I mean, we can control outside influences right now, but it's hard, man. It's a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of things that just, it's like you're constantly just fighting shit off. Like, you know what I mean? Like on some Kevin Hart, like it's an octopus, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Just knocking arms off you all day. And so just to be able to just, and not have nothing like that shit. It'll do something to you. So I could definitely see how I could do something for your business.
And then Andy Frisella said something this week that really resonated with me. He was like, I do this shit because it forces me to be on my A game because I know I'm just some regular ass fucking guy from Missouri who doesn't know shit. And everyone else who I'm going against has way more money, way more resources, and they're a lot more intelligent than I am. So this forces me to be on my A game all the time. Right. And that resonated with me a lot. Kalani didn't really feel that, but like I just feel like that personally. Like I'm just some random guy, bro. So if I'm not on my fucking A game all the time, the people I'm going against, like it's no different than sports. Like I'm on my A game all the I'm watching more film because I know these motherfuckers is faster.
And that's like, shit.
Real shit.
Yeah. Like I don't try to keep up with the Joneses by no means, but that's one thing I love about social media. Like if you're a competitor, bro, and you love to compete, like you have to be on social media. Like I don't feel like people like when people be showing this and showing that, like I don't take it as flexing, bro. Like you fucking earn that. Like show me that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need to see it because I'm like, shit, I gotta
keep going.
You know what I'm saying? So
it still is comparing, but you're at the same level as them. It's
comparing, but it's a different type of comparing. You know what I mean? I'm using it to continue to level myself up. Like they're raising my level all the time, and I think that's what's dope. Like, I mean, I don't get excited about a dude posting a picture with his chick or, with a bunch of chicks just chilling and shit like, oh, fuck all that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, send me, it's materialistic stuff. But for me, when it comes to materialistic things, it's the ability to be able to buy something and it not really affect you. So people can be like, oh, why are you buying Rolexes? Why are you buying that? Because I fucking can. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. You know what I mean? Don't worry about why I got a $20,000 watch on because this shit didn't bug me at all.
Right.
I'll go buy you one.
And what is that? I would truly want to see, what does that feel like?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, bro, yes, it strokes my ego. But again, my ego is what grows this business. So yes, I'm constantly feeding my ego with materialistic shit because I got big goals. And this is just steps for me. This isn't a destination, bro. This Rolex was part of the not the vehicle, but it was like one of the pit stops. It was one of the pit stops to my destination because I know once I can pay 20 grand for a watch, 30 grand, 50 grand for a watch, what's next? Like, I'm not stopping bro, like, it really means nothing. It's just letting me know, like, you've now arrived at what the bus stop, certain bus stops. You got to transfer over to the next bus to get you somewhere else. Like, that's what it's like for me when people talk about material things. Material things for me is like little bus stops.
Okay. Hell yeah. Let's wrap it up with that, bro.
Wrap it up, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode brought you any value, please go like it. Give us a 5-star review on all the podcast platforms. Go follow us both on Instagram at Michael Butler Jr. and at Strat Daddy. You got anything other closing words, man?
No, man. I think that was a great episode, but I definitely would love to get some comments, give us some feedback, let us know some topics that you guys would love to talk about moving forward. Because again, we love to kind of run this based off of you guys. So if you guys like us, share us and let us know, man.
And bro, Dame, you tune in every week. Thank you, bro.
Every week, man. Dame's gonna get it.
Blake too.
Fuck is Cletus and Aaron. Shit.
All right. Thank you so much, Blake. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will talk to you next week.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. If you would like to stay in touch with Stratton and myself, follow us on Instagram. And please be sure to subscribe to our Free Agent REI Podcast YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up.